Hi, this is Scott Geitler from Blue Water Photo, and today I'm going to talk about the Olympus E-PL5 camera and the Olympus housing for that camera. Let's talk about the camera first. The E-PL5 is a camera that I'm really excited about. It's probably one of my top 4 cameras out of all cameras for 2013, and the reason is that they put Olympus's top-of-the-line sensor from the OMD EM5 into this camera. Olympus started out its mirrorless cameras with the EPL1, and every successive camera has had improvements, making the autofocus faster, the sensor better, and this EPL5, the latest version, is just incredible. It's 16 megapixels. The photos at ISO 3200 are really nice and clean and detailed. The autofocus is really fast. And there's a great selection of lenses out there, from an 8mm fisheye all the way to the new Olympus 60mm macro lens. So as you can see, this camera is very small. The lens mount is a micro four thirds mount, so it will accept any of the micro four thirds lenses from either Olympus or Panasonic. And there are other people like Samyang who are also starting to make lenses for these cameras. This camera it has a nice bright LCD. It does not have an electronic viewfinder like the OMD does. It only has one control dial. It does not have the dual control dials like the OMD. And I've tested the image stabilization of this camera. It's very good. The image stabilization of the OMD is exceptional. The video on this camera is really good, and the autofocus is very fast. If you're used to a compact camera, the autofocus will be much faster. Almost, but not quite as fast as the autofocus on a DSLR. This camera and the Olympus housing with the a YSD1 strobe and Olympus 60mm macro lens is an unbelievably great macro setup at a really great price. Until now, you could not get anything close to this kind of setup at that kind of price. So like I said, I'm really excited about this camera and housing combination for people who are looking something a little smaller and can't afford one of the higher end aluminum housings or a DSLR. If you look at our site, you'll see some reviews of this camera, the images, and they're fantastic. Olympus has put out another great housing. They did housings for the EPL1, 2, and 3, and all of our customers have been very happy with these housings. They've had no problems. The controls work great. This housing is small, it's light. You have access to all the controls of the camera that you need. Great thing is that this port that comes with the housing, which is only like $740, it takes the 14 to 42mm lens, the 9 to 18 wide angle, and also the 60mm macro all fit in this port. If you want to put a macro lens on here, there's a push-on adapter, which is really nice. And if you want to put a dome port on there, it's not super easy, but you can actually take off this whole port and replace it with a dome port. Although people who think they're going to be changing ports a lot and doing serious wide angle may also want to look into one of the higher end cameras like the Nauticam GX1 or the Nauticam OMD housing. Housing is easy to open. It has a nice secure O-ring, and it's very rare to have leaks in these housings. It's easy to close up the housing. It clicks, it locks, it's secure. We usually recommend a nice ultralight tray and handle and a YSO1 or D1 strobe. TTL works great with this camera, and overall for the money, you really can't beat this combination for underwater photography. So if you're using a compact camera and looking for something better, you definitely will not be disappointed. If you have any other questions about this setup and lens selections and the E-PL5, please feel free to contact us at bluewaterphotostore.com, and thanks for watching the video.